Hey guys, welcome to Rach and Rouge, where I share beauty and reality TV show reviews. So, today, in my first ever reality TV show review, we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 8. So, the ladies are finally back in Atlanta after what feels like forever in Dallas, and they do quick snippets of Kelly at Nana's Chicken and Waffles, Shamia on a movie panel, and then we swing over to Pinky and her husband singing happy birthday to her little daughter. We go back to Kelly at the restaurant. This is when the white t shirt that everyone's been talking about finally makes an appearance. I don't know. To me, I mean, it is very casual for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think she looks bad. I probably would have zhuzhed it up a bit more. But overall, it's not Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I thought her hair and makeup were really pretty. And then Kelly starts to thank her mom for running the restaurant as she's been going through her divorce. She talks about how it's been taking such a toll on her mentally, physically, emotionally. She also talked about child support and going after her ex-husband for $50,000 and how she's not able to film this season with the children, and that this is her husband's way of being narcissistic and still trying to run her life. She then tells her grandmother and mother that she's dating some new man named Jarvis, but that isn't his real name. The producers ask Kelly calls him. The producers ask how he came up with the name Jarvis. He says Iron Man. I don't know anything about Iron Man, so I don't know what character that's from. And so then they said he should use some other name who has a lot of money. As Kelly's talking to her grandmother and mother about Jarvis, Nana asks if this guy she's dating has a W-2 form. Kelly says yes, and Nana says that's an upgrade, and then they all start laughing. So I'm assuming Kelly's last husband did not have a W-2. I don't know. All right, so in this scene, we're following K. Michelle and her husband, who's a dentist, to another dental office for K. Michelle to get some work done on her teeth. She's just filling out the paperwork in this scene. And then K. Michelle briefly talks about like how she's been in a better space since they've been back from Dallas, and that she's been on the good behavior. And her husband starts to ask what the other ladies say that. Then the nurse comes out, and K. Michelle talks about how pretty she is, but then she's so pretty that she wouldn't allow her to work for her husband. But then in the Club Shay Shay, she talks about watching her husband with other women. I don't know. It's all really gross. I'm not trying to figure it out. So we're just going to move on to the next scene. So we have Phaedra, Angela, Portia, and Drew meeting up. All of the ladies look absolutely beautiful. I really like this scene. I love the chemistry between the ladies, or what chemistry they seem to be putting on for the show. I think they could be a good group to center the show around and toss Cynthia in there, either full-time or keep her as a friend. But I really like the energy that they brought to the scene. In this episode. I really liked the darker hair on Drew in the past episodes. She's been wearing the brighter blonde colors, but I really liked the toned down wig on her. I also really liked Phaedra's red hair. She looked super pretty. Phaedra said that Angela is looking more and more youthful, which is a little shade because last season she was saying that Angela was looking older. And I really liked the shorter hair on Portia. I think Portia looks so pretty when she has a bob in. I mean, like, Portia looks pretty in any hairstyle, but I really liked her in this bob, like super cute. So then Portia jokingly said she's been in the rooms because Angela said last year that Portia was not in the rooms, that Angela said that Phaedra had not been in the rooms that she had been in. And so then they flashed to a picture of Phaedra, I believe it was the Emmys, the rooms that she was in, and she made a video that was saying she's in the room. So that was a cute little scene. And then Phaedra goes on to talk about how she's hosting a sound bath event at her home. And then she also goes on to share with the ladies about there being a plot set up. She sat down with K. Michelle and Kelly. K. Michelle said that she heard that, again, about the plot. At this moment, we don't know who shared the plot with K Michelle, but Phaedra shared it with this group of ladies, and Portia said she heard it from the voices in her head, which, yeah. So Portia said, Portia said it's the voices in Kay's head. So I don't know what's going on with K Michelle. I don't know why she just won't share what's happening, where this came from. A lot of this could have been avoided. So in the next scene, we move on to Portia sitting down with her mother and sister. She tells her little daughter and her niece that she has a surprise for them, which is supposed to, little PJ wants a lizard. The guy comes in, he brings in this snake. I'm gonna be honest, I had to turn my head because I'm absolutely terrified of snakes and I didn't want to have nightmares. So I turned my head on this because this thing was absolutely too big. Like, I'm absolutely terrified of snakes. But then Portia again begins to download her mom and sister on the Dallas trip. Everything that happens. Lauren said that Mike was crashing out because he hadn't heard from Portia in 4 days. He sent a mariachi band, and at the time the mariachi band was there, Dennis decided to pop up, and she said Dennis never pops up. So it's just a bunch of mess with Dennis, Portia, Lauren, Mike, and then Sway. I believe she calls Portia or asks Portia if she's been dating. And then Portia tells her that she has been dating. And then it's just so funny that Lauren continues to engage in Portia's foolishness, just like the rest of us, because Portia, she's hilarious. She's a good time. I enjoy watching her on the screen. But yeah, like we all know, Portia is not really dating that man, Mike. I don't know what's going on. Then we get into Shamia at the surrogate's office. Kelly meets up with her. Shamia looks all sad. She starts crying because, one, they only have one male embryo left, and she knows that her husband has really been pressuring her to have a son. And so the last embryo did not take. And so with this being the last one, like, if this does not take, they're going to have to find an alternate method to have this son. And so Shamia and her husband have not had those conversations. At least she has not shared those conversations on air, and has said they haven't had those conversations. So that's something that they should talk about, but she doesn't know what's going to happen if she doesn't have this boy. Then Gerald said he's been uncomfortable with seeing Shamia in scenes with other men. And then they go into Shadina's office. Shadina is the surrogate who carried Candy's daughter, I believe Blaze. Yeah. And she asks where Gerald was. Shamia mentions that he didn't want to be around the cameras. And then, yeah, that was the scene. They continue to talk about like how Kelly's going to be there to support Shamia, and that they have to figure out, like, they need to have a conversation about what's going to happen if this embryo does not take. And so after we see Kelly and Shamia at the surrogacy office, then there's a scene with Kelly and her daughter, which was overall just pretty boring. She gives her a care package for college. She has her sign a college agreement, which was reminiscent of Cynthia's friendship agreement that she had with Nene. Then her daughter goes on later to ask how everything was going at the restaurant. Kelly tells her, the restaurant isn't not doing as well as the other restaurant, as her first restaurant. And then a couple seconds later, her daughter asks about a car. Kelly was like, I can't get you a car. She's asked about a restaurant. No. So Kelly's like, let's get you back to campus. And she says she got to go Uber X because she on a budget. The scene was pretty boring. Oh, Sway and Portia going on a date. I really enjoyed those two together. I don't know. You can tell like there was really some interest in each other in this scene. Portia and Sway, they just seemed like so giddy over each other. I just like they were both cheesing. They both just look super cute. They both talk about the first time that they met each other, which happened to be at this restaurant. Sway says it was 10 years ago. Portia, it said 8, 9, 10. They met 10 years ago. Sway got ghosted by Portia. And then they get into a conversation around Sway asking if she could see, if Portia could see herself like living a life with a woman. And then Portia's like, "Did you just propose?" You know, Portia always be trying to get married. And then Sway talks about how, just in general, she wants to lock down in a year. She'd be open to carrying a, having a baby, carrying a child. And then she asks if there's any baby daddy drama. Portia says no, not when she's single, but when she's in a relationship. And then they flash back to the scene of Dennis popping up at Portia's house. Um, Portia, Dennis, Sway, man, this it's just a lot. But overall, I really thought it was super cute. Then they played a game. Sway and Portia played a cute little dating game, getting to know you kind of thing. Um, yeah, I just really like them. I look forward to seeing how their relationship grows. They were just so cute together. Portia, I enjoy that Portia lives her life. I really enjoy that. So we're getting into the last scene, which is Phaedra's Healing Waters event. She talks about how she's been a Reiki master for 3 years. The event is at her beautiful home. I recently saw her home tour on some social media site posted it. Phaedra's home is absolutely stunning. Like, it's so beautiful. So she had it at her home. We all know that Phaedra keeps jobs, multiple streams of income, and I mean, her home looks like she is doing a thing. So in the car ride with K Michelle and Pinky, um, Pinky asks Kay if she's getting in the water. Kay can't get in the water. She says her butt is on fire. She has not been approved to get in the water by her doctor because of all of the challenges she's been having with her, her surgeries and her bottom. And then Portia shows up basically naked, but she looks amazing. Like, Portia, girl. And Cynthia was like, it looks like just two butts just put together. Like, that's how big Portia's butt was. She said it just looks like two butts put together. And that's exactly what it looks like. Drew showed up one time, which is, first time for everything. Cynthia said she's doing real good with her condition because Drew said she had a condition called time blindness. Okay, Drew. So then they flash back. Oh, one thing. When Portia has her outfits on, they flash back to other seasons where Phaedra first had the outfit on when they were on a cash trip, and then Kenya put on a similar outfit to make fun of Portia, and now here comes Portia with the outfit on all these years later. So I like how, just having the OGs there, it ties it all together because they're able to pull back on those kinds of shows, because Cynthia said that outfit looked familiar. So then we get into the sound bath, meditation, um, double for the, oh, yes, when they were picking out the little floating beds. Portia said she needed a double one for her bubble, a double for the bubble. Something's wrong with that girl. And then so K Michelle, Pinky, Kelly, no, K Michelle, Pinky, and Shamia show up. Pinky and Shamia get in the water. Shamia's floatable bed starts sinking a little bit, so she gets out of the water. Kelly shows up late. She said she didn't really want to be there, but she still showed up. And so they're sitting on the side, just, they're still doing the meditation, just sitting down. Now, this is where it gets wild and crazy. They go over to have dinner. K Michelle starts to bring down the mood, wanting to clear the air. And it wasn't even fun to clear the air. Like, it's just like a Debbie Downer buzzkill, clear the air. Like, they're just, all relaxed coming out of that sound bath. And now we're talking about this again. So, according to K Michelle, Portia dated one of her exes. K Michelle thought it was weird that Portia didn't tell her. And it just it was just really weird. Oh, by the way, Cynthia wasn't there at the dinner because she said she had to leave to catch a plane. She was probably sick of them. She was probably sick of them. Oh, also, Pinky said the sound bath meditation was given cult. Kay said yes, it was a calming space, and then proceeds to take it back to what. So yes, the ladies were in a calming space. They were just coming out of meditation, and then here comes Kay, the buzzkill, um, taking everything back to what happened in Dallas. So Angela does take responsibility for accusing Shamia of sharing things with Kay. And then then Kay gets into her issue and why she started. Kay gets into her issue and said that she received a call from an ex talking about like there was a plot and scheme set up against her, probably the scheme that Todd set up, but a scheme set up between Portia, Phaedra, and Drew. She said that she started like stepping back from Portia after Portia said Kelly had been sleeping with a married man. Then the second thing was Portia asking if she had a miscarriage, and then the third thing was uh, she thought Portia was trying to expose her, and then so Phaedra was like, okay, those are three things, and then K Michelle brings up Black again, and it's like, why are we still talking about Black? Is she upset that Drew has this relationship with Black? Like, I don't understand why you are still worried about Black when, from what we've seen, Drew has said nothing about Black and you together. Like, it's very weird. Like, what is going on? What are we missing? I hope they address it at the reunion because this is very strange. And then she like goes on the attack against Drew. And Drew was like, stop saying Black's name. And K Michelle's like, I could say his name if I want to. And then it's just back and forth. But with Portia, the one who you actually had like 3 issues with, it's just like you're very calm and chill with her. So I mean, I don't know if that's, I don't know. It's just very weird. Like over some man that you're not even dating, haven't dated. I just don't understand what's going on. Why she has this issue with Drew. Um, so then Phaedra brings the ladies back together. Angela whispers over to Pinky. Was like, who's the guy? Pinky was like, I don't know. Why y'all think I know everything? Because we all know that you and K Michelle are super close, so you know who the guy is. But anyways. All right, so now we're getting into the last part of the episode where Phaedra, again, tries to reel the ladies back in and says, okay, now we've established that, and here comes Kelly wanting a moment with Portia. I thought she said she didn't want to be at this event. If you didn't want to be at this event, you probably shouldn't have chimed in. But she says, so Phaedra reels the ladies in, and she says, I think we've established that, and here comes Kelly, that Portia has slept with, I believe she said, all the Nigerians in Atlanta. And then this is where it goes crazy because Portia was quick. She said, you definitely slept with that married man. And then Kelly has that wine glass up, getting close to Portia's face. Portia's pointing her finger. And we all know, I think this scene shows just how much Portia has grown because Portia of yesteryear probably would have started fighting Kelly, and it would have been down bad. She would have been down bad. But the security, they came over, they stopped it, and Portia was able to control herself. Like, that's just, I mean, hey, you got to give credit where credit is due because we all know Portia years ago would have started fighting on Kelly. So good job for that, Portia. And then the security breaks them up. They take Kelly into the house. Phaedra's over here talking about there's what did she call it? A noise. I have one in my neighborhood. Oh, a noise ordinance. She starts talking about that. And then, and then Portia starts saying that, you slept with a married man. You slept with the pastor who was Phaedra's client. Phaedra said, I know. And Portia said she didn't want to put anybody's family out, but she slept with this married man. So then the scene goes to be continued. Shamia gets up. Shamia goes to check on Kelly. Pinky's in there checking on Kelly, as well as K Michelle. And then Angela is sitting at the table making faces. When when the argument was popping off, Angela and Pinky, excuse me, were sitting there eating their food because that's what they really came for. So, yeah, to be continued. I don't know why Kelly wanted to have this moment with Portia. She's been coming after Portia since last season, and it's unclear why she's been coming after Portia. But it looks like Portia might be giving her what she's asking for, and so we just gotta see. Overall, I really enjoyed these episodes. I would give this a 10 out of 10. They're saying the mid-season trailer should be dropping soon. I really enjoyed it. I'm really, really enjoying this season. Thank you for watching my first review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.